Welcome back to Math Top Grades, and today, as promised, we are going to solve past paper questions about functions. Okay, I tried not to repeat ideas as possible, so each question is a unique question which appeared once or twice in the past papers. Right now, don't watch this as any regular YouTube video. No, don't do that. Bring your pen and paper. Once you see a question, pause the video and try to do it yourself. Okay. After that, compare your answer with mine. With this way, if you do it yourself, you will never forget it. And if you make a mistake, you will never repeat that mistake later. So please do as I say. Okay? Now, let's go. Now, let's take a look at the first question we have now. I have here f of x, g of x, h of x, and also j of x. First of all, find f of 2. So simply, we are going to function f and substitute x with 2. And in this case, this is going to be 2 multiplied by 2 minus 1. So the answer is going to be 3. Find g f of 2. This is composite functions, and in composite functions you have to start with the function on the right here. F of 2, you have to be smart a little bit. We got it already from in the I, so the answer is 3. So we can just substitute f of 2 with 3, so it will be g of 3. Okay, now it's time to go to function g, which is over here, and substitute x with 3, so it's going to be 3 multiply 3 minus 2, which is going to be 9 minus 2 equals 7. Okay. B. G inverse of x. To get the inverse function, as we said before, we can just make the flow diagram backwards, or you can change the subject. So in this question, you are free to choose whatever you want. I'm going just to, for example, let's do changing the subject. So I'm going to write here 3x minus 2 equals y, and our purpose here is to get x alone, and to get x alone here you have to get rid of this 2, so plus 2 in both sides, so 3x equals y plus 2, divide by 3, so x equals y plus 2 over 3. And now your answer is, instead of this y, you will write x. So x plus 2 over 3. Okay? Okay. Now let's take a look at question C. Find x. Okay? When h of x equals j of negative 2. Don't get confused. All of these questions are very simple, and the main idea here is substitution, as I mentioned before. So h of x, where is h of x? H of x is here, is 1 over x. So I'm going to substitute this part with 1 over x. Okay. Equals j of negative 2. What is j? J is here. So we will go to this function, and I'm going to substitute this x in the power with negative 2. So it's going to be 5 power of negative 2. Okay. And now 1 over x, you can just find the answer here. 1 over x equals 5 power of negative 2 is 1 over 25. And simply you can say that x equals 25. This is so simple. Okay. Now let's take a look at question D. In question D over here, write f of x minus h of x. Again, we are going to substitute f of x with its value, which is 2 minus 1, as mentioned up here. So 2 minus 1, 2x minus 1, minus h of x. So minus, what is the value of h of x? H of x here, as you can see, is what? Is 1 over x. Okay, so this is minus 1 over x. The idea here to write them as a single fraction is to make them same denominator. This is the idea. Same denominator, or common denominator, as you call it. Okay, here my denominator here is 1, and here my denominator is also 1, and here my denominator is x. Okay, I can simply change this one and that one into x by multiplying by x in both sides. And here I'm going to both terms. I multiply here by x, and remember, when you multiply by x down, you have also to multiply by x up. And here we are going to do the same. Here this is multiplied by x, and here also multiply by x. So step by step, no need to rush at all. Here 2x multiply x is going to be 2x squared over 1 multiply x is x, and this was our purpose. This was our goal in this question. Okay, type minus. What do we have here? X over x, so 1 multiply x is x over x minus 1 over x. This is great. Now all of them have the same denominator, and we can write all of them as a single fraction. And our denominator in this case is going to be x. So now it's going to be 2x squared minus x minus 1. And this will be your answer as a single fraction over here. This is your final answer. Okay, let's take a look at the next question. Here in the next question here, f of x, I have here f of x equal 1 plus 4x, and here g of x equals x squared. Okay, find g f of 3. So first of all, as usual, I'm going to bring f of 3. Okay, f of 3 here equals 1 plus 4 multiplied by 3, which is equal 13. Then you will replace this f of 3 with 13, so it's going to be g of 13. So it's going to be here 13 squared, which is 169. Okay, fine. Find f g of x. Again, g of x, this is composite functions. We start with the function on the right. So g of x here is x squared, so this is going to be f of x squared. Then you go to function f and substitute x with x squared equals 1 plus 4, and instead of x we are going to write x squared, and that's it. This is your final answer. Okay, question C, and pay attention to that. This question in the exam is 1 mark. Okay, in all past papers this question is 1 mark. The idea which will come to your brain, mister, this is composite function. I have f inverse, I will get f inverse, I will get f of x, then I will deal with it as composite function. At the end, they will get the same answer, by the way. Okay, but how can we do it? Here, f inverse and f, they are opposite to each other. So, in other words, they cancel each other. And here, the answer simply is whatever inside the brackets, which is x. Mister, what do you mean? I mean, for example, if you have g of g inverse of 5, this is going to be 5. If you have, for example, f inverse of f of 2, this is going to be 2. So the function and its inverse, always they cancel each other, and simply what will remain here is whatever inside the brackets. That's why here your final answer is x. Okay, let's go to the next question here. What do we have here? F of x equals x squared minus 25, and here we have g of x equals x plus 4. Okay, whatever we have, we can deal with it. Okay, solve. Here solve usually and always means to find the value of the variable you have, the unknown. And here in your question here, the unknown is x. So solve means at the end, the last thing you are going to write, you have to tell me, Mr. the value of x is this. You have to get the value of x. Okay. The extra thing here is you are getting the left hand side and right hand side, then you manipulate the equation and solve it. So fg of x plus 1, step by step, no need to rush at all in this kind of questions. So that's why we are going to start with g of x plus 1 over here. Okay, where is function g? That's here. So g of x plus 1 equals, I'm going to substitute x here with x plus 1. So it's going to be x plus 1 plus 4. So this is going to be x plus what? Plus 5. Now let's put it in function f. I mean, I need to get f of x plus 5. Now what are we going to do? We will have to go to function f. Okay, let me just clear this. Go to function f, which is here, and substitute x here with the value between brackets with x minus 5. And this minus 25 will remain the same after that. Okay, so this is going to be x plus 5. I'm substituting this x with x plus 5. So it's going to be x plus 5 all squared minus 25. Minus what? 25. Let's expand it. So when you expand this, it will be first squared, which means x squared, second squared, 25, first multiply second multiply 2, which is plus 10x, minus 25 as it is. If you notice here, positive 25 and negative 25 will be cancelled. So right now we will have x squared plus 10x. This is the left hand side over here. Now let's get the right hand side, which is g f of x, and g f of x here, that means g, and instead of f of x I'm going to write its value, which is x squared minus 25. Okay, let's do that. So x squared minus 25, and go to function g and substitute x with what? With x squared minus 25. So it's going to be x squared minus 25, and don't forget the plus 4 here. Okay, plus 4. Don't forget it, please. Okay, and here your answer is going to be x squared minus 21. This is the right hand side. We got the left hand side before, and both of them are equal, which means let's form our equation here, over here, and x squared, this is the left hand side here, x squared plus 10x equals the right hand side, which we got down here, x squared minus 21. This is an equation, so the two sides are balanced already. I have here x squared and here x squared. So if you remove x squared from both sides, the equation is still balanced. That's why I can simply cancel them. What do I have left here? I have 10x equals negative 21, divide by 10, divide by 10. So in this case, x equals negative 2.1, and this is your final answer. Okay, let's take a look at this question also. Now, what do we have? I have f of x, okay, I have g of x, okay, and also he gave me here fg of x. Fine. I recommend that you pause the video and try to solve it yourself, then check your answer with me. Okay, so let's do it here. I have fg of x equal that. Let's get fg of x, and he's asking us to get the value of p. The idea here is simple. We will get fg of x together, then we will write it, we will form the equation, and after that, you will get the value of P. Let's do that. Fg of x. So I use f, and instead of g of x here, I'm going to write its value, which is 5x minus 4. This is equals, I will go to a function f and substitute x here with what? With 5x minus 4, and don't forget to write 4 as it is and the 3 plus 3 as it is. This is the 4 at the beginning, and here what do we have? We have here 5x minus 4 plus 3. Okay, let's expand. So 20x minus 16, we distribute here and there, plus 3. So here 20x minus 13, this is the left hand side. Okay, let's use it in our equation. What do we have here? Here the left hand side is 20x minus 13. This is what this is equal. And what do we have after the equal? 20x plus p. I think to get the value of p, I have here 20x and 20x. I can cancel them together from both sides. So you will have that p equals here negative 13, and this is the value of p. Next question. Okay. Right now, I have function f of x and g of x and h of x. Okay. Also, find this g of x over f of x plus x and give your answer again as a single fraction. Immediately, okay, the substitution part is easy. And also the next part is easy, which is what? Once, if we want to make it as a single fraction, you have to make them same denominator. You have to make all denominators the same, then you add numerators. This is what should be done. Okay, so g of x is here. I'm going to substitute it with its value, which is x squared plus 2. Okay, over f of x equals 3x plus 2, ماشي, 3x plus 2 plus what here? Plus x. But Mr., how can we make them same denominator? What is our denominator here? 3x plus 2. ماشي. What is our denominator here? Our denominator is 1. So denominator is 1. Okay, this is simple. I can simply multiply this one by 3x plus 2 to make it 3x plus 2 like this. And remember, when you multiply by that amount, by that expression, you have to multiply it also in numerator. So 3x plus 2. Okay, now I will write it as one fraction here, 3x plus 2. The first part is x squared. Okay, x squared plus 2 plus, we are going to distribute this x here and there. So 3x squared plus x multiplied 2 is 2x. Okay, let's add them together. So x squared plus 3x squared, this is going to be 4x squared, and here 2 and 2x, so خلاص, plus 2x plus 2, all of this over 3x plus 2. Okay, this is the fraction as a single fraction. This is the simplification as a single fraction here. Now, let's take a look at this question here. Find x when h inverse of x equals 2. This is very important and very simple, by the way, and pay attention to that. The inverse function, okay, is the opposite. The idea of inverse function is what? In the regular ones, you have x and your output, your final answer is y. But in the inverse function, your final answer is x, because it's opposite way. But how can this information be useful to us? Here he's asking you to find x when h inverse here. This information can be useful to us because simply this is x. This is what? This is x. In other words, this is x equal to. So what should we do, Mr.? We should go to function h and substitute x with 2 over here. Okay, so it's going to be 4 power of 2, which equal to 60. Is it that simple? Yes, it is that simple here. So again, how can we do that? Because in the inverse function, this is the value of x. We are getting the inverse function backwards, so we are getting back to x. So you'll find here, this is x. You go to function h and substitute x with the value given to you here, and whatever it is, all you have to do is just substitute with 2. Okay? Let's go to this question here. I have h of x equals x squared. Okay? What else do we have here? Find the value of p that satisfies h of p equals p. Great. Again, the idea here is substitution. Okay? H of p means I have to substitute x with p. So this is going to be p squared. And instead of x squared, so it's going to be p squared. So p squared equals what? Equals p. So the question is what? And pay attention to that. Find the values, which means you may have more than one answer. So how can we solve this question? This here is a quadratic equation, okay? What should you do is to make it equal 0. Khalas, when it's quadratic equation, you have to make it equal 0, then factorize. This is something you have to know always. Quadratic equation, you must make it equal 0, then factorize. To make it equal 0, I will move this to the other side. So p squared minus p equals 0. What type of factorization do we have here? We have common factor. So this is p. I have here, common factor means division, if you don't know this concept. So p squared divide p is p, minus p divide p is 1. Okay? All of that equals 0. And as usual, either p equals 0 or p minus 1 equals 0, and here p can equals 1 and can equal 1, and here these are the two values of p. Okay, let's take a look at this question here. In this question, I have f of x, I have g of x, and also I have h of x. So here, let's spread them here. I have 3 different functions. Okay. He told me already that g of x, so it's a composite function from a function and itself. G of x equals ax power 4 plus bx squared plus c. And our purpose now is to find the value of a, b, and c. Okay. How can we do that? First of all, as you have to get the left-hand side and compare it with the right-hand side. Let's get g of x, which means I have g, and instead of g of x, I'm going to write its value, which is x squared plus 1. Okay? Equals. I'm going here in function g and substitute x here. Remove x, I replace x, and simply I am going to write its value, which is x squared plus 1. Here I have squared, so I'm going to write all squared. Here I have plus 1, and then I'm going to write plus 1. Okay, here is the substitution part, And what is left for us now is to expand this brackets. Here, this is squared, okay, means, as I said before, first squared, which is x squared all squared. I'm going to do it step by step, plus second squared, 1 squared is 1, plus first multiply second multiply 2, 1 multiply x squared is x squared, multiply 2, it's 2x squared, and don't forget this plus 1. Okay, let's simplify it. X squared squared, I have here squared inside and outside, that means it is x power of 4 plus 2x squared plus 1 equals what? Equals 2, so that this is plus 2. Here, this expression is equivalent to this expression, which is a x power of 4 plus b x squared plus c, and here simply all you have to do is just compare. And here a is coefficient of x power of 4, okay, and what is the coefficient of x power of 4 here? 1, so a equals 1. B is coefficient of x squared, which is 2, so b equals 2. C is the absolute term, which is 2, so c equals 2. Okay, let's take a look at the next question here. H of f of x equals 81, and here the question is asking us to find the value of x. Okay, let's get here h of f of x, which means h of, and instead of f of x, I'm going to write its value, which is 7x minus 2. Okay, 7x minus 2 equals, I'm going to function h. Where is function h up? Function h is here, 3 power of x. So what we have to do here is to exchange this x, substitute this x with the value given to us. And in this case, this is going to be 3 power of 7x minus 2. He told me that all of this equals what? 81. Okay. And this kind of exponential equations, the idea here is to make them same base. Here, my base is 3. Okay, so I have to make 81. I have to change it into 3 power of something. So 3 power of what equals 81? 3 power of 4. So that means 3 power of 7x minus 2 equals 3 power of 4. If I have the same base, that means the powers are equal. Now our equation is 7x minus 2 equals 4. Okay, and you can solve this equation. So 7x equals 6, so x equals 6 over 7, and this is the value of x. Over here in this question, okay, let's take a look at that. I have f of x equals 7 plus 3x, okay. I have g of x equal x power 4, okay. Okay. H of 3x equals k power of x. So step by step, find the value of k. So h of 3x, well, let's go to function h, which is here, and substitute x with 3x. So it's going to be 3 power of 3x equals k power of x. In this question, you have to be a little bit smart by noticing that this is x here and this is also x. So we have to manipulate the left hand side here a little bit. How? I can simply write that 3 power here, 3 power of 3 all to the power of x equals k power of x. But Mr., how did he do that? From the properties of powers, okay? If you have, for example, x power of 2 all to the power of 3, you are multiplying the interior and exterior power, so it's going to be x power of 6. We will do the same operation backwards. If I have, for example, x power of 6, so you can write it's x power of 2 all to the power of 3, or the opposite. So you can simply split it in this way, and this is what we did here. Why? Because here this 3 is 3 multiplied x. So, and when you expand this, you will reach the original function here. Okay? So now 3 power of 3 all to the power of x equals k to the power of x also, which means 3 power of 3 equals k, because x equal x, so 3 power of 3 equal k, so k equal 3 power of 3, which is 27. And this is the final answer of this question. Okay, and now let's take a look at this question here. I have here function g equals 2x minus 1, and also I have function h equals 3 power of x. Okay, find x when h inverse of x equal g of 2. Once I see find x, I know already, plus I have to form the equation and solve it for x. Okay, this is what am I going to do right now. Step by step, please. What is easier for me to find? It's easier for me to find this g of 2, and let's get g of 2 here equals, I'm going to substitute x here in function g with 2, so it's going to be 2 multiply 2 minus 1, this is equal 3. Okay, now our equation is h inverse of x equals 3. As I told you earlier, the inverse means x, because here when we get the inverse of the function, that means we are getting x. Okay, so I will take this 3 and go and substitute it here instead of this x in function h, of course. And now what is our answer? Our answer now is going to be 3 power of 3, which is equal to 27. And this was our last question for today. If you liked the video and it was beneficial to you, so don't forget to put like and subscribe if you are not one of our fans yet. Also write a comment about things you liked about in the video, or you can write a comment about things you didn't like. And also, if you have any lesson you feel it's the hardest lesson ever, you can suggest that I can explain it next video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.